Hi, friends. I'm coming to you today from the garden of John Manieri and Mary Whetstone. Gardens are always a work in progress because they are living and growing. This garden is beautiful. John and Mary and many of their friends have put a lot of work into it. They've made it to be a place of peace and prayer and meditation. Some of the elements, like the pond, are inspired by Monet's garden in Giverny, and there's a labyrinth cut into the landscaping. I talked to you about the labyrinth early on in the daily messages, so today I want to reflect with you about the beauty of a garden. A friend of mine forwarded an email to me from St. Olaf College in Minnesota. And the writer of the email included this quote from Michael Singer's book, The Untethered Soul, The Journey Beyond Yourself. Quote, "When you walk through a beautiful botanical garden, you feel open and light. You feel love. You see beauty. You don't judge the shape and the placement of every leaf. The leaves are of all sizes and shapes, and they face every which way. That's what makes them beautiful. What if you felt that way about people? What if they all didn't have to dress the same, believe the same, or behave the same? What if they were like flowers, and however they happened to be, seemed beautiful to you?" End quote. Isn't that a great way of thinking about the beauty of our human diversity? You know as well as I that division and polarization seem to be the norm in nearly every aspect of our social life, from politics to education to religion to sports. I have a yellow and blue tie that I really like, but I have to be careful when and where I wear it because of our rivalry with that state up north. The thing is, it's okay, and in fact, it is good and healthy to have different opinions and viewpoints and beliefs. The world would be a pretty boring place if everyone were the same. And it's often in noticing our differences that we reflect on our own beliefs and clarify the reasons for our opinions and consider the experiences that have led to our viewpoint. And sometimes that reflection solidifies our position, and sometimes it opens us to change. The key to building a more peaceful and productive coexistence is not to convince or coerce others. It's not to abandon our beliefs and values. The key is to treat each other with respect, to speak to one another with kindness, to learn from one another with humility, to keep the greater good in mind, and to recognize the beauty in leaves of all sizes and shapes and facing every which way in the human garden. As you look at these pictures from this beautiful garden, hear these words from the Apostle Paul's letter to the Ephesians, chapter 4, verses 1 through 7. "I, therefore, the prisoner in the Lord, beg you to lead a life worthy of the calling to which you have been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, making every effort to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to the one hope of your calling, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in all. But each of us was given grace according to the measure of Christ's gift." Thanks for listening. I'll see you again next week.